Good morning, everybody. Orange J here with another War of the Visions video, and I got two questions for you today. Number one, do you like summer units in your gacha games? And I know that's like a redundant question because we all like summer units in our gacha games. So let's move on to number two. Do you like seeing Black Rose Helena get cut apart by your summer waifu with an axe? If you do, Swimsuit Kilphe might be the unit for you. We're going to talk about her, everything you need to know. Big time preview for Summer Kilphe coming up right now. Okay, now we're going to start this preview video by looking at some stat lines here. We're going to look at her at level 99, level 115, and level 120 like we always do. See how she grows and see which place that you might want to stop building her or when you might want to start your slow build if you're lucky enough to get her. Now, she is definitely a good enough unit to stop at 99, but not because of her stats. It's because of her TMR is so dang good, and we're going to get to that here in a minute. But let's look at the stats because that's what's on the screen right now. You can see that she gets growth in three main areas, I would say, from 99 to 120. Her HP goes up by about 500 each time. That's really nice. Her attack goes up significantly from 99 to 115, and then takes another decent jump by almost another 30 from 115 to 120. The other stat that grows at each breaking point is Spirit. Her spirit goes from 12 to 14 to 16. That's important because she's going to be a girl who you're going to want to run against magic dealers, against mages. And spirit, remember, is good against more than just magic attacks. It's good against slashing-based magical attacks. It's good against punching-based magical attacks, all of them. Now, her resistances. She is plus 10 against slash. I always check slash resistance. She's a light unit, so she is weak to dark. Keep that in mind. Look at that magic resist though, 15 magic resist. So at level 120, just baseline, she's walking in with 16 spirit and 15 magic resist. This is a good foundational piece to build a magic resistant unit from, and that's clearly what she's supposed to do. When we look at her skills here in a little bit, you'll see how she's really gonna shine as an anti-mage. Okay, let's go now and let's look at that TMR. And here it is. You can see in JP, when translated to English, it's called Foreign Perio. Who knows what this thing's going to be called when it's actually translated? That doesn't matter. Notice that it's an accessory with 303 HP, 8 spirit, and 5 agility. So straight off the bat, you can hit that check mark of, is this a good accessory? Yeah, it already is, just because it has agility on it and some spirit, so you want it. When you're stacking spirit, you want to move faster, it's already going to be good. But then look at this skill, you guys. The TMR skill gives you 20 AP, and it costs 20 TP to cast, which means on turn 1, if your unit uses this TMR, they will generate 30 AP. That's really nice. It also gives you Shell, which is a 25% reduction to magic attacks for 3 turns. This TMR is usable by almost everybody in the game. Like, it might actually be everybody in the game. Basically, if you have a character, they can use this TMR, and it's A+. If you're a newer player and this is one of your first good TMRs you have access to, it could be worth taking Summer Kilphe 299 just to get this TMR. It's going to fit so nicely on anybody who's fighting mages. And for her herself, it gives her access to that shell, which is going to help her do her job of killing mages even better. You can also see on the screen right here that she has that updated master ability that all the new units have, 10% HP and 15% light attack for her light allies, and you see her master ability gives her 5% attack and 10 spirit. That was already factored in to her stats that we saw earlier. Okay, let's check out her skills now, and this is where she's going to really shine. This is how she's going to do her jobs, how you're going to build her with her skills. First up, her support abilities. I think she has 3 good ones and 1 garbage one. So acquired AP up, you're pretty much not going to run that very much. These first 3 though are all really good. Wild Instincts, which is her new job support ability, 25 accuracy and 40 defense pin is really nice. And put a pin in that 40 defense penetration because that is going to come back in a big way later with her job level or with her level 120 move. Okay, Thief Lore, that's move +1 and agility +12%. This is how you're going to balance out, like, do I want her moving fast and far ahead, like outranging my tank maybe for a duel, or do I turn that off and have her stay back a little bit more? this will help you tweak agility and tweak movement, which is really, really important. Then she has Abandoned. This is the soldier support ability that gives you 60% attack and cuts all your resistance down by 8%. Always a good trade in my opinion, and I think you're going to be picking 2 out of those 3 on almost every one of her builds. Okay, let's move down to her counter abilities next. And she has 3 counter abilities. I don't love them. I think Sense right here, her new jobs ability is pretty decent. A 20% chance to just reduce all damage by 30% is okay. She has Counter Slash, which is just the basic counter attack. And then she has Quick Action, which is a 20% chance to boost her agility by 40%. I think Sense is the best one and Quick Action is probably the second best. Both could be good. I don't know, B- counter abilities. At least for now, till I see what she actually does in when she's playing. Now, her main job, the big focus right here, right? Let's check out these main job abilities. We're going to go over all of these, and then we'll just quickly touch on her sub-jobs. Okay, first skill on here. It is a range skill, and I'll click the box right here so you can see the range. It has nice range to it with a range height of 1. That is a range of what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? 14 AP with a 25% chance of inflicting slow. So now you have to start thinking, do I want to run her at high faith or not? She's an anti-magic damage dealer, so running her at high faith might, hurt you in the long run unless you're getting your magic resistance spirit to those levels where you just don't care about damage anymore. But if you do run her at high faith, you have a chance of inflicting slow. This is a good ability, and it's a good ability for PvE. Slowing bosses is very strong. She has Amulet Fang. This is where you're going to start seeing her shine as a supporter. She is a fan. I'm gonna turn the camera on because I want to say this straight to y'all. She is a fantastic support unit too, especially against mages. Her buffs are really, really dang good. Now, turn the camera back off. We'll look at these buffs. Amulet Fang upgrades to Secret of the Amulet through her EX jobs. It is a group buff. I'll click it right here. Costs 28 TP. That increases your group's attack by 40%, increases your group's spirit by 15 for 3 turns, and when it's EX, increases magic resistance by 20 for 3 turns. Really, really nice. Not as strong of a magic resist buff as like a Spell Blades is, but it also has spirit and attack. This is a phenomenal buff and one of her best skills overall. Okay, she also has Frozen Snow Axe. This is her frostbite inflicting ability. Another reason to think about running her with more spirit is she's going to be one of our first units who can inflict frostbite. This is an AP drain on your enemy. Think about slapping a tank that doesn't have bells with Frozen Snow Axe. They're never going to be able to do anything but auto attack. Because unless you're like King Mont's running bells, the dude's low on AP. This will prevent him from like berserking people, that kind of thing. It also can be EX upgraded. Here's what that looks like. The same, but when you EX upgrade it, the cost goes down by 4 and it gives her regen for 3 turns, a 10% health restore. That's nice, makes her a little bit more bruisery. Okay, then she has Wild Liberation. This is another one of her group buffs. It's an accuracy plus 30 and slash resistance pin plus 30. So now you see she's coming along as both a defense penetrator and slash resistance penetrator. This is really important for characters like Summer Kilphe who can only do slashing type of damage. You really need to be able to penetrate slash resist, and you really need to be able to penetrate defense. Slashing is one of the weakest attack types in the game, not because itself is weak, but because of how easy it is and how frequently slash resistance is built. So she has defense pin and she has slash resistance pin. Now, keep in mind, you do have to plan to get these buffs cast. If you were going to give her a TMR that she could use, and you wanted her casting Secret of the Amulet and Wild Liberation, that's 3 turns worth of buffing. That's going to take some planning and it's going to take a longer map. So you need to figure out which skills to turn on and off. That will be a big part of being good at using this unit. But this is a very nice buff. Okay, then she has Tornado Breaking Shield. This is a barrier breaking ability that hits in a little like frontline AoE here and does 200% damage. This is really nice. It is expensive though at 32 AP. Then we get to her job level 1 or her level 120 job level 25 ability. I keep mixing those up, but it is Black Panther Piercing. here's 40 more defense pin that she gives herself before inflicting the damage. Now let's scroll back up for a second, and remember, she's already getting 40 defense pin if you're running Wild Instinct. So when you're fighting high defense targets, if you are hitting them with Black Panther Piercing and you're running her defense pin support ability, that's 80 defense penetration. You're penetrating 80% of the enemy's defense with those two things. It does 200% damage and absorbs 40% of the damage dealt. Doesn't have a super long range, only 2 and range height 1, but at 26 AP, this is a very good skill. And if you want to beat up some tanks, like maybe you're going up against a King Mont and you got to chew through him, well, penetrating all of his magic or his defense is going to be really, really nice. Now, her main job's sub-job abilities. She has Wolf Claws and Tiger Bite. Wolf Claws, 2-hit attack. This is going to be mostly useful for PvE. And multi-hit attacks for cheap are really nice for PvE. Then Tiger Bite, 165% damage, AoE debuff of attack and magic by 39%. This is actually a pretty nice ability. I just don't know that you'd want her using it instead of Frostbite or something like that. But again, this could be her best PvE sub-job. Battle Axe. Okay, Soldier, she has just the basic stuff. Really, you're looking at buffs here. How can she buff herself to do more damage? She does have Hazard Form, which is kind of cool, and she has Paralyzing Edge. So if you're running her with that like super high faith and you want her paralyzing people, she has access to that. Otherwise, just the basic stuff. Hazard Spin might be one of her hardest hitting abilities, and it's a small little AoE around herself, so keep that in mind. Thief might be her other best PvE ability, because when I see Thief, the first thing I look for, does she have Steal Time? And there it is. CT down and increase her own agility on the target. So if you're running her in like a light slashing team, you kind of have two options. Do you want her to be chaining, run Battle Axe sub-job, and get your 2-hit attack for cheap with a debuff if you need it? If you don't want her for chaining, if she's going to be your Steal Time person, you can run her in Thief for Steal Time. That's pretty nice, and you love to see it. Okay, now, she also has her Limit Break. It is a light resistance debuff by 38% for one target, and it deals 200% damage. It costs 43 AP. Not in love with this skill. It's very, very expensive. That light resistance debuff is nice, and again, could be useful in PvE if you have a boss that you must run light slash against because that's your team, and you need to debuff their light resistance. Okay, she could do that for you, but overall, not the biggest fan of her Limit Break. Alright, so now we get towards the end of the video. The should you pull her, am I gonna pull her, all of that part of the video. Okay, I'm definitely gonna pull her. I think she's a really cool unit, right? As soon as I saw her in JP, I was like, man, you know I gotta go for this girl, right? Just look. I mean, that's all I'm going to say about that. Anyway, she will do her job very, very well. She will be a very good anti-mage, and she will deal a lot of damage. She has all of the tools and all of the stats to do that work. Now, if you're going to compare her to another unit, I'm going to put her and Orin on the screen here for a second, because Orin is another high damage dealer that a lot of people like to run against magic units. And I think she will have the tools to deal as much or more damage than Orin. Maybe not in as big of AoEs. Orin can drop that massive limit break, but I think she will be a better anti-mage than him. And if you look at their stats, she is faster than him, although he has more attack than she does, and she has slightly more HP than him. They both have some spirit. They are both pretty resistant to magic. So overall, I would say this is a good comparison. And if you don't have Orin, so you don't have one of those like high damage slashing units that's supposed to fight mages pretty effectively, here you go. She brings some group buffs that Orin noticeably doesn't have. Orin is a very selfish unit. He likes to put bells on, buff himself, and run at the enemy. Kilphe can chill in the back, turtle it out, get her buffs on, and then go drop some mages where they stand. She's also a light element unit. There are a lot of really good light element units in this game, so if your account is very light element heavy, I think you could consider going for her. Drawback, like why not to go for her? Final Fantasy VII is coming. We have a, we have this inkling that Summer Elsorel is coming. Although, wouldn't it be funny if they just knew people were data mining their stuff and they just put that little Elsorel picture in the info just to like troll us? I doubt it. Like, I don't think I don't think they have that kind of sense of humor. So I'm thinking Somewhere Else Rail's probably about 2 weeks away. If you want that global first unit, then I probably wouldn't go for Summer Kilphe. I'd stay strong and wait for that. If you've just been hoarding your Visior for Final Fantasy VII, this is not Final Fantasy VII, so don't go for her. However, if you want a really cool looking unit, and you're willing to go for her in the limited amount of time, absolutely. And if you can only get her to level 99, her TMR, A+ TMR. It's real nice. So that's going to be the video, everybody. Let me know if you liked the new format of these videos. You know, always trying to evolve the channel and all of that. Remember, if you need some Visior, please consider using my Amazon coin affiliate link. Best way to buy Viz ever. And I'll catch y'all in the next video. Peace.